Well, look at that. All the speculation. Oh, my God, the hamster's still sleeping. He's lazy. Believe me, I thought about it. I did. I mean, it is Sunday, Sometimes my eyes get a little bit too big for my head. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Thumpr, let me finish off this beer and we'll have a stream tomorrow morning. I'm like, oh, shit. Well, here we are. We are here waiting for the Thump to arrive from northern Michigan. I wonder what the hell what's the weather doing up there? Is it going to snow? What's going on, man? Northern Michigan. I've not had a beer. I promise. National. That's one of the one of the girly things. Well, it used to be considered girly. Typing, right? Oh, the girls only need to know how to type. Oh, I tell you what, that's probably been the most important thing ever for your career. Well, especially what I'm doing. It's basically all I do is type all day. What are you saying? Oh, yeah, well, it's a long story. So I sent Thump, hey, Mohammed, good morning. Or good evening, in your case, over in Egypt. Monkey D. Nice, greetings. Good morning, Michelle Guevara. Is that a goat? I think it's a goat. Oh, no. The ABC doctor is in the building. Yeah. Oh, geez. And you're giving me a hard time, sir, about not... Everyone's having a Sunday morning today. I mean, why the hell not? I'm sure Thumpr will be here in a minute. So the doctor's in. Hello, Otto Crosswind. Good to see you. Prime is here. Hi. So we're going to talk about cars and shit because, why not? It's the man show. You can feel the testosterone dripping from your screen. It's going to be amazing. Now, remember a couple days ago, did one on Amazing Atheist, kind of ripped him a little bit. Like I said, I really think the guy is great. He has a video out today about feminism being weird. So he kind of all over the place. So, yeah, I do like his presentation. He's enjoyable sometimes to look at. Some bad stuff going on. Don't know if you heard. 10 people murdered in California last night. I think it was last night or the night before for Lunar New Year, Chinese New Year. Some asshat killed 10 people, went and shot up someplace. It's like, what are you doing? Where does this crap come from? Good Lord. Well, it comes from mental illness. Nobody wants to talk about that. It's evil. There's some other reason, racism. It's evil incels. No, these people are nuts. These people are nuts. Sweaty, the fat guy ever.
Morning. Don't blame me for technical difficulties on a computer that I hardly ever use for live streams and shit.
Excuse me. You were just giving me a hard time in the old chat there. Hamster's probably laid in bed drinking beer.
He's probably still asleep.
He's probably still asleep, yep.
And I've been sitting here waiting on a lake.
Iridium Kush. Good morning.
Well, alrighty.
You should probably get Kush to come in, too. That'd be fun, wouldn't it?
Possibly.
Well, I'll send him an invite.
It's always lots of fun.
Well, he just had a vacation, so maybe he's more happy. Oh, God. I can't remember his damn email. Oh, my God. How are you? What's going on?
Not bad. I see you have the video I made last night booted up already.
I do.
Did you watch it?
No, I thought I would share the moment with you. Because,
I need to come up with some better music. I need to get
you have music on there?
Yeah. Well, it's the free stuff. But I need to get Mr. Paul to hook me up with some tunes.
Who is Mr. Paul?
Jeffrey Paul, the guy that does
pop stuff.
Yeah.
That's right. I don't know the guy, but he puts together some pretty chunky stuff. I like it.
Yeah.
Very old school. Very, very good for us because we're old.
Yeah. I like his guitar riffs. So
let's see. Where in the hell? So his username is different, obviously, and I can't fucking remember what it was. Let's see if it'll pop up in the autofill here. Let's see. I might remember it. So it snowed here this morning. What do you got?
Oh, I got lots of snow still stuck in the trees because it hasn't blown out of them yet. And about 4 feet on the ground, but it compacts.
Yeah.
So, you get 4 feet and then it like sinks down to about 3 or 2.
Yeah.
Then you get another 4 feet and it's like, just tons of snow.
Take it easy, Mohammed. Good to stop for.
Later,
thanks
Mo.
for coming by. Yeah. Shrapnel, Hammy, morning, brother. Straight Sith male, by the way, or was. Straight Sithy. He used to be Straight Sithy. Now he's Shrapnel. That's kind of a manly username. I like that. Shrapnel. Primo Living. Good morning. Kush, I love when the travel is over. You have a lot to look forward to. Oh, yeah. Well, if I can remember your damn name, Kush, I'll send you a link. All right. What are we watching here on this video?
Oh, it's just a bunch of crashes. And it's got some interesting text. Yeah.
Okay. Let me get it.
Can you see the state of girls today. And it's titled What She Said.
You're just such a misogynist. Oh my God.
I hate some women's.
Those women. All
the
right,
girls suck, as Kathy said.
Oh my God. What is that? A Ford?
Yeah, it's a Focus.
Ford Focus?
Yeah. They crashed it at 120 miles an hour.
Was this on like that was
a TV
UK show? Yeah. I saw some what is it? Top Gear maybe or something like that, or
it was
they were doing
like
the crashing
stuff.
Yeah,
but
yeah, they were taking like minis and then driving them into semis, kind of that. Boom. I mean, the car almost disappears. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That was 100 miles
survivable. 120. No. So it's like a 60 mile an hour head on where nobody brakes.
I mean, that's those cars aren't so bad. I mean, they're actually a pretty good car, but at 120 miles an hour, what the hell can you do? I mean, there's nothing.
But a 50 mile an hour tree going to kill you.
Yeah, there's not much you can do about that.
Emotional damage.
You pulled the Chinese guy out. That's fucking hilarious. I love it. You ever watch him? He's got an actual YouTube channel.
Yeah, he's pretty funny.
He is pretty funny. He's I guess he's a comedian. Asian. Oh no. All right. That's all right. Uh-oh. It's a Mopar.
Yeah.
Where's one Fastback when you need
it? That's actually a female Top Fuel driver's car.
Oh, really? No kidding.
Wow. Yeah, she survived it. It's all cool.
Oh, good.
Leah Pruitt. It was a really bad accident.
Raceway Park, Englishtown, New Jersey. Wow. Well, at least she is all right. Good Lord. They have the 225 slant 6 in that one. That looks pretty,
that's a 500-inch Hemi making about 10,000 horsepower.
10,000 fucking horsepower. Yeah. What? And how in the hell do you even do that? You
nitromethane.
Oh God. I suppose you really have to overbuild the engine so it just doesn't blow.
They only run for about 15, 20 seconds total.
And then they destroy themselves, basically, right?
Almost, yeah.
Yeah. Because I think I was reading something like that. They basically have to redo the engines after every run. Is that correct? I don't know.
Oh, yeah. They tear it all the way down and stick all new stuff in it. New blower, new heads, everything. New crank, new rods, new pistons. They do it in about an hour.
They have it set up.
Tear it all apart and redo it.
Yeah. They have it set up so it's easy, well, relatively easy to overdo. Overall,
and they got a slipper clutch instead of a transmission, so it applies as it goes down the track and it welds itself together. So they just unbolt it and it comes out in a chunk, and then they like beat the hell out of it to get it apart and just throw it away.
Oh my God, that's freaking amazing!
But they're running like mid 3s to 1,000 foot.
Jesus.
At 330 mile an hour, something's just insane.
So
each run's like $100,000.
Really?
Yeah.
So I mean, what do these people get except for glory out of that kind of thing?
They win money.
Well, yeah, it'd have
people
to be
show up to watch.
It would have to be an awful lot of damn money, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but they also have sponsors and stuff,
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah,
well, I mean,
like John Force, he has Castrol, and or he used to. I don't know if he still does.
Well, I mean, didn't the automotive companies themselves for a long time sponsor NASCAR and all that? They
Oh,
could put
yeah.
their cars in. Thus like the Super B. They had to make 200 of them or something.
Yeah.
So they could run it in the
Top
race.
Fuel is a totally different
ball game. Yeah. Well, NASCAR is supposedly it's changed.
NASCAR got boring since they gave everybody the same car and just told them to change the stickers.
Yeah, because it used to be you had Ford, Chevys.
Yeah, you had actual
Chryslers.
production vehicles in the 60s.
Yeah.
Just put a roll cage in it and do your mods and go race it.
I actually saw some driver. I think I was in Texas. I can't remember where the hell I was, but some driver, they had a deal there where he had his car, and it's like they're actually tiny, really. They look really huge, on television, but it really wasn't that much bigger than a regular car. It was kind of crazy. Well, I suppose it wouldn't be because it's a stock car, kind of.
Yeah, they're roughly the same size, like a Corolla or a Taurus.
Yeah. That's kind of what my impression was. I was expecting something bigger, but it wasn't. It was pretty interesting. Okay, let's continue here. Jesus. There she goes. Oops. I don't think the shoot's going to help her at this point, but
it actually probably was a big part of why she survived it.
No kidding. Wow.
Yeah.
I wonder if that auto pops. Maybe or she has to do it.
She was a passenger as soon as the front end came up.
Yeah. Not much.
She was making suggestions.
She was like, "Holy shit! I hope that chute comes out."
Yeah.
I'm like, I mean, how fast was she going? She was going, hundreds of miles.
It was about mid-track, so it was like 250.
Okay, so yeah, I guess the chute would come in handy. It's kind of hard to tell because it's in slow motion here. So, all right, let's go on. No problem. That'll buff right out. Just call Thumpr. There's the tire. Here we go. Whoa! Holy shit! Did she fly out of the car?
Oh, that's a guy.
Oh, that's a dude.
The body came off. That's a funny car.
Yeah. They're just. It's funny in that way. I know, funny cars. Holy shit! The dude's still in the car.
Yeah.
Oops.
Her 30th.
Oh my goodness! What the heck? That didn't look promising.
Drag racing is not a safe sport.
I mean, I wonder, it must have been a mechanical failure or something.
Probably a broken axle, the way it turned like that.
It looks like the wheel over here is skewing out that way somewhere.
Well, the driver's side wheel quit turning as much as the passenger side wheel.
Yeah.
So it either slipped or the axle broke. And when that happens with a spool, the thing just says, okay, well, we're just going to push real hard with this tire. And the front wheels are like, we're just along for the ride at this point. Yeah. And it smacks into whatever it comes to.
Yep.
And it happens so quick. So quick. That's like a 8-second car, easy.
Mm-hmm.
1,320 feet, quarter mile, 8 seconds. 150, 180 mile an hour, somewhere in there.
Nice.
Just crazy.
What do they stuff into it like a Mustang? Is it just the souped up 5.0 or what do they put in there?
They've been sticking a bunch of LSs in them, like 6 liters and 5.3s, and putting big turbos on them.
Oh, okay. Well, I suppose you'd have to, probably.
Yeah, 1,500 horse is so easy to make now. It's crazy. Just throw a couple of turbos on it and feed it a bunch of alcohol, and you're good.
Yeah, that's usually what happens to me. You just feed me a bunch of alcohol, everything's fine. Zombro says, Hamster, that used to happen a lot. Remember Raceway Park, Englishtown, New Jersey. Yes.
Yep.
I remember the radio ads just like you did. You listened to them as well, Zombro, right?
Sunday.
Raceway Park, Englishtown, New Jersey.
Top fuel, funny car, dragsters.
Yep, exactly.
The stalkers will be out in force.
Yep.
Come out and give your support to Nancy. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well,
wait.
Wait,
that's
there's more.
When the track announcer also works at the strip club. Give it up for Candy. Oh, wait.
Give it up for Johnny over there. Yeah, Johnny. That's what I meant.
Put your hands together for Cinnamon.
Cinnamon, let me in. Oops. Yeah. I would say it's a fair bet that the front end kind of just went poof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Need to re-chassis the whole car.
Well, what's that?
Need to re-chassis the whole car.
I would say
hits like that's done.
Yeah, the frame's bent. You forget about it. Yeah. Or basically just scrap it, take the engine out, and get another car. Probably. Who knows?
Well, you can use a bunch of parts. Like the back half might still be good.
Sure.
Everything forward of the cage is done.
Yeah.
Just come off.
Yeah. Well, I would imagine the engine is probably the most valuable part, I would think, right?
I don't know. It kind of varies. Because you can have a lot of money in the chassis, and you need a lot of technology in the chassis to get these things to run the way they do.
So they have to do certain things and put certain widgets here and there to keep it flat and whatever.
Well, it's like you're in a cage,
mm-hmm.
And it's mild steel 170 wall. It's or chrome moly can be a little smaller, like 150 wall, I think. And it is very, very sturdy.
You say
150? Yeah, 150.
150 thousandths or
okay. Yeah, 150 thousandths wall.
Gotcha. Which is just
15,
just over a tenth of an inch.
Yeah.
So, because I'm used to talking in mils, it's the same thing. 150 mils, 150 thousandths. That hasn't gotten over into the engineering space. In mechanical guys, they might talk about it, and car guys do. But
well, car guys get into the 100 thousandths, 10 thousandths.
Oh yeah, so do I. Yeah.
Machinists, 10,000. When you say a tenth, they say that they mean 10,000th. Not like a tenth of an inch. That's like bench grinder stuff.
Oh yeah, tenth of an inch is 100,000th.
Yeah, I can do tenth of an inch with a Sawzall and a bench grinder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
down to 10,000ths, it's a whole nother story.
I mean, some of the crap I deal with, like wires on boards and crap for electronics, they're down at 2 and 3 mils.
Oh,
2 and 3 thousandths.
The tightest tolerance I held when I was a machinist way back in the 80s, working for an aerospace company, working on KC-135 parts, was a 0.029 hole. So like drilling with a needle.
Mm-hmm.
And it was titanium. Each part was $335,000.
Holy shit.
So when you scrap it out, it's a big deal.
Oh yeah.
I had 4 millionths tolerance for depth and size.
4 millionths?
4 millionths.
Holy shit. That's pretty tight.
You had to tease this drill bit into the hole in such a way that it doesn't deflect at all. I mean, it was tedious. To do 100 of those parts took me 3 days.
Oh God, I would think so.
Because you're drilling into titanium, which is hard.
Titanium's a real bitch to work with, too, isn't it?
And man, you break off one drill bit, and it's just like,
I mean,
my God, people just explode.
Oh, I totally get it. I totally understand. No, I mean, some of the crap we do, it's not quite that serious, but I mean, we're doing 8 mil drills, and it's plastic. It's not titanium, right? But I mean, still 8 mil. It's literally like a little needle. That's the drill bit. It's pretty crazy.
I majorly enjoyed working with aluminum because it's like cutting butter.
Oh, aluminum, yeah.
You work with stainless, titanium, stuff like that. The hard shit. Oh, geez, I hated that.
Yeah,
you got to get the feed just right, or you burn stuff, and
don't
get a little bit of chatter. You scratch it or scrap the part.
Yeah, and then somebody starts getting mad because that was $100,000 part there, sir.
Yeah.
I mean, did you have the computerized shit, or you must have?
Back in the 80s, we had one vertical mill center that was it was a stylus style CNC, where you run your stylus around the pattern, and then it copies that. So you have to hold it against it just right. And now it's a totally different thing. I used to have dial indicators and Joe blocks and all these, micrometer measuring tools and stuff just so I could do my job.
Mm-hmm.
And, I had to do all the math, had a calculator and a piece of paper, and I'm writing it all down to figure out if it's in the right spot. It's just a huge amount of work.
Sure.
And now you can just like draw it out, tell it what size you need everything to be, where the holes are, And the computer goes, oh, okay. And your 5X machine starts cranking them out. It takes longer to machine the part than it does to design it or check it now. It's absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
And then you just got to adjust tool length offsets and you're good.
Yeah.
My little brother does that.
Well, I mean, computers come in handy for that kind of shit because that's tight tolerance and
oh yeah,
that's crazy. Millions of holy shit, millionths of an inch. But I mean, you were still doing inches, not metric, or it doesn't matter, I guess. It's
well, in the 80s we were all SAE stuff,
right, right.
Yeah, and it depends on what you're working with. When I was making piston rings in the 90s. That's something where you have a 1/10 of an inch. So
right.
For somebody that's used to working in tenths, 100,000s, and millions, 1/10 of an inch, an actual 10th, 0.1, that's like whatever, no problem.
It's sloppy, yeah.
Yeah, I can do this and fall asleep while I'm doing it.
Right.
But
again, if you are talking airplanes, we know enough about that some of the shit has to be really tight. You're flying around in the air.
Piston rings for engines, whatever, you got all kinds of tolerance, but they would have the metric and the standard on the tickets for them.
Oh, well, that's where GM pissed me off because they mixed, right? So you'd be working along with and then you'd have a 10 millimeter. It's like, what are you doing? Why'd you do that? Come on.
And it's not as bad as Mopar in the 80s and 90s.
Oh yeah.
Late 80s, early 90s, Dodge would have a metric head with a standard nut and a proprietary thread. So you couldn't use any other bolt to do this.
Great.
You had to have the exact bolt and the exact nut.
So if you
go in the exact hole, and then they'd put 16, 17 bolts to hold on a part that wasn't stressed.
Yeah.
It just made no sense whatsoever.
God,
I hated them.
Well, that's what you get from the stupid engineers up on top. It's like, oh yeah, we better make sure we got this flow valve over here. Better put a lot of bolts in that thing. It's like, come on,
get out of here. Hondas are the worst. You gotta Hondas have so many special instructions, and my hands are too big.
Oh, really?
Somebody's like, "Can you help me with my Honda?" And I'm like, "Nope."
Yeah. Well, I haven't had to work on mine yet. I had the previous one. I had to do a couple things to it, but I mean, not much.
They might be better than they were in the 80s and 90s.
Probably, yeah.
But like a 90s Prelude, oh God, or an 80s Prelude was even worse.
Really?
It paid like 6 or 7 hours to do an alternator.
6 or 7 hours?
Yeah. Because you had to remove the front knuckle, pull apart the front suspension on the driver's side. Take all the motor mounts except the bottom one off, and then the bottom one had to be loose enough, and then you had this tool that was like a big protractor that would pull the engine forward. You turn a screw and it pulls it forward, so you can slide the engine, tilt the engine all the way forward. Then you can unbolt the alternator.
Yeah.
Then you have to clock it just right, and you got about 1/1000th of an inch on either side. So if it's a little dirty or dusty or something, you got to clean it first.
Jeez.
Because it'll fit through this hole exactly right, and then you have to put it back through that hole when you replace it exactly right and wiggle it through there. And oh God, I hated those things.
That is a pain in the ass. Yeah, I've not had to deal with that well yet, but I did have the Volkswagen, but the poor thing that rest in peace, and that thing was fucking tight. There was no room in there. I don't know how these guys worked on it, except they actually took off the fenders to get in there because there's you couldn't get in there. There was nothing you could get at. It was crazy because they stuffed
it. And I don't like Omnis because you need to put an Omni on a lift to change the alternator.
Dodge, one of the Dodge Omnis.
If you try to lay down underneath an Omni and replace the alternator, it'll fight you, and you'll just end up cussing stuff and throwing wrenches.
Yeah. No, I never got to work on those. Yeah, that's. I mean, back like I had a Yukon. I mean, you could almost stand in the freaking engine bay and work on shit. There was plenty of room. There was no problem there at all. Except they put cheap parts in there that broke, and oh God, don't even get me started.
Yeah, the 98 up LS engines, they have a nasty habit of breaking off exhaust manifold bolts. So I've gotten really good at taking them out.
Yeah, I didn't know any better, but I was the the heat send and return pipes coming out of the engine.
Yeah.
There's a it goes into the engine on the top on the left. So this is a 350. So I think that's must be the send, but there's a return somewhere. But the send screws into the intake manifold to get the juice.
EGR.
Yeah, no, this is the
EGR.
No, this is the running inside to the heat exchanger for your heater.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And
they're two different sizes.
Well, it could be. I never got that far because
they are two different sizes. They suck.
I broke the intake manifold because I couldn't. I didn't know any better, but it turns out that the fitting there was cheap ass pot metal.
Yeah.
And once they got so old, they would basically weld themselves to the freaking intake.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got one of those backwards thread things. I thought, well, that should work, right? No, it cracked the freaking intake manifold. It's like, oh my God. Let's just say I wasn't happy about that. I was very unhappy.
The LS engine I like. The old original Chevy engines, I can't stand them. God, they're such junk.
Well, what bothered me about that particular truck was the oil filter was right above the freaking transfer thing, transaxle.
Yeah.
And so invariably you'd be spilling oil all over your freaking transaxle. Probably didn't hurt anything, but still, it's like,
well, it just makes a mess, you know.
Yeah, it's just a mess, and but I mean, it was easy to work on, pretty much. But assuming you can get the bolts out and all that kind of shit. But,
yeah.
Oh God, was that in the distributor as well? I told you that story, right?
Yeah, the
distributor that made it out of really cheap ass freaking stupid shit. And they to get the cap off, you take 2 screws out. Well, the problem is those screws are put in there with Loctite, and if you don't heat them up, you break the freaking distributor, not the cap, the distributor, right?
And getting back in there underneath the cowl to get the back one out sucks.
Yeah. Well, it's the problem was I snapped the off the distributor itself. Snap the plastic part off, so you couldn't screw it back together. You had to get a new distributor. It's like, what the fuck? What kind of crap is this? Now the replacement distributor.
If I can't get the bolt out of the back to get the cap off, I just pull the whole distributor.
Yeah, well,
I'm like, I'll retime it. I don't care.
Yeah, yeah. But the replacement distributor, it wasn't a remanufacturer. It might have been a remanufacturer, but they made those screw holes huge, so you didn't snap off the plastic when you took the edge.
It's not a 2mm bolt anymore.
No, I think it was just it used to be like a Phillips, and it would have that.
Yeah, it'd be like a 5/16
little locking. Bolt. The little locking mechanism that would go. I'm talking about the cap, not the distributor, but the cap.
Yeah, I'm talking about the cap. You hold them down with like 5/16 or quarters.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, that made me very unhappy. Okay, TikTok 5. Oops. Ouch. This must be like a rally race or road race.
That's on the Nürburgring over in Germany.
Oh, in Germany. Okay.
Yeah. They have lots of cool crashes there.
They do. Yeah. Well, I occasionally watch some of the bad driver ones, which are kind of funny. It's like, how do you do that? Like, how do you get your car on top of a telephone pole? How is it even possible? I said, what are you doing? Pretty crazy shit.
Yeah. The whole point of this video is girls hitting the wall.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So here we got a
stupid stuff they say.
Here's a Pontiac.
Yep. Turbo Firebird.
And this is I don't know what that is.
That one's got a tunnel ram on it or a blower.
Is this also a Firebird?
Looks like it.
Okay, well, let's see. She's different. She loves me. Oh God, here we go. Hit the wall, baby. Ouch. Yeah, that's the one we saw with the one.
But the angles that they had on it on that and full speed, I was like, oh, I gotta include that.
That's fun. Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, let's see what's going on here. Ooh, that's a 64 Chevy, isn't it?
I think it's Chevelle. Yeah,
Is it a
64 or 5
Okay.
Chevelle.
Yeah. Ooh, that hurt.
His throttle hung open.
What's that?
His throttle hung open.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah, he started his burnout, and the pedal just stuck to the floor. He couldn't get it back up.
Damn.
And I was like, dude, you have an ignition switch. Let's flip it.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, you remember that it wasn't actually that long ago where the Toyotas allegedly,
Yeah.
they would whatever happened, but
Well, it's
something
Toyotas and Volvos because they have small pedals. So the old ladies would think that they're pushing the brake, but they're standing on the gas and running through, farmers markets and garage doors and whatever else.
Right. And even in those cases, all they had to do was really just turn the engine off.
Yeah. Or just actually hit the brake instead of the gas.
Or put it in neutral. That would,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there was this one guy that was like driving on the highway. You remember that?
Yeah.
Like him and his family, and he's like, the car it wasn't like an immediate thing. It was just like it wouldn't slow down. And I think he called the police, and I think the guy actually crashed.
Yeah.
Somebody might have
just turn it off. I mean,
well, yeah, but again, people
you leave it in gear, you turn the key back, and it's not going to turn all the way back to the steering wheel locks.
Right.
You just flip it off and you coast.
Or you put again, you have to be aware, right? Yeah. We know that, but I mean, a lot of people maybe don't.
Well, most people don't know. Even they know how to put gas in.
Yeah.
And then how to push the button and make things spin. That's about it.
Yeah, sometimes they do. You ever see that video with the guy in the pickup getting gas? He filled up the entire back of his truck with freaking gas. in the bed. Yeah, he put a tarp in there and he filled up the truck with gasoline. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, that's just bad.
That's just stupid. Now that would be your typical small town kind of track. It looks like, right?
Yeah,
like down in Milan,
I think that was Cordova.
Cordova's or
yeah, that's between Milwaukee and Chicago. It's near Great Lakes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My friend lived in Milan, Michigan, Johnny, and they had their drag strip at Milan. I didn't know that. We never went. That would have been fun. All right. I'm curving. Oh, God. Well, of course it is. For us, we're big
back
bears.
It up and play it again. It didn't come through right.
Okay. This one?
Back up some more.
Okay.
Yeah, go from there and just let it play for a second. Maybe it'll... And then Leah's blow over again.
Okay, what did we miss?
It played that time. It would just stutter.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God.
That was the same dragster from the beginning.
Yeah, but Jesus, holy
just a different view.
That's amazing. How does it even do that? I suppose if it's not aerodynamically set, all that shit.
What happened was her chassis failed because the length of it is how they stay on the ground.
Right.
Because they got a wing out front there, and the chassis failed. So as soon as it started to go up, it just ripped the nose off. Because you're talking just astronomical forces.
Right.
They're basically airplanes that hug the ground and are powered by the wheels.
Right, because they have the airfoil here that forces it down, and back here forces it down. Yeah.
Wings and aerodynamics, because they're going 330 mile an hour in 3 seconds. It's absolutely insane. So if something fails, it's like immediate. It's just like bam.
Yeah.
And
as you could plainly see.
Yeah. There's no reacting, no nothing. It's just like, oh well, we're doing this now. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Hold on for the ride.
Yeah.
Hopefully everything works out. There she is again.
How girls will like get their friends to do stupid shit too.
I know. Yeah, they always up. Yeah, you've seen the what is that called? It's complicated. All that stuff.
Yeah.
The girls always look at each other before they answer. Ever notice that? They're sitting there. Well, what? But then they kind of look at their friend, as if, you get the hive mind is what I'm getting at.
Yep.
They all want to say. Well, there's a couple of them on there though that didn't. It's kind of funny. They were almost actually getting into a freaking pissing match because they didn't agree with each other. It was kind of interesting.
They're so concerned about fitting in and being part of the group and consensus and everything that they'll just make the same stupid mistakes your friends do.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, well, that's women for you.
I watch my friends make a stupid mistake, and I'm like, I ain't doing that.
Yeah, well, that's well, wise men learn from other guys' experiences, etc.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's with some of these women, how many times do you literally have to wreck your car before you understand you shouldn't do whatever you just did? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Stop driving drunk and running red lights.
Right. You keep getting all these F boys, so-called. Well, you're the one picking them. Pick different guys.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Quit going for that guy that rides the Harley and has the face tattoos.
Or
well,
whatever.
He doesn't ride the Harley. He rides like a Honda.
Hey.
Shadow.
Hey.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, because he can't afford a Harley.
I mean, I used to have a Honda Shadow. What are you trying to imply, sir?
I'm trying to imply that the Honda Shadow doesn't leak.
You sure? I told you those stories.
Yeah, but like the Harleys, it used to be you put a pan under it.
I know.
Like the fluid and then put it back in.
Yep. No.
They're a lot better now. But Jesus, $20,000 for a motorcycle? You got to be shitting me, man.
Yeah. Well, what's kind of surprising to me, and I kind of keep track of this a little bit, the price of bikes really hasn't gone up all that much, really. I mean, yeah, compared to 40 years ago, sure, but
yeah,
you can still get a really decent bike for about 10, even a new one.
Yeah,
a nice 650 or a 650.
If I ride a bike, it has to be bigger than a 650.
Oh, but I mean, have you seen the horsepower numbers on some of those crotch rockets? Holy shit!
Yeah, and I'd get a street bike. I wouldn't get a crotch rocket.
Well, I had the street. I'm thinking about maybe getting a crotch rocket.
It looks like it looks like an elephant riding a unicycle. If I'm on a small bike.
You're a big boy, I guess.
Yeah, like a fat boy. That's my size. Fat boy Harley, or like a Electra Glide or a Wide Glide, something like that. I prefer Sportsters when it's a Harley, but I just look so goofy on them. Yeah,
Sportster is actually a very small bike. It fools you.
No, I just about bought a Buell when they came out, and I'm kind of like, I'm glad I didn't. But they're a fun little bike.
Excuse me. Buell was the Harley sport bike, right?
It was a sport bike chassis and with a Harley engine.
Yeah.
So 3,000, 4,000 RPM, you're done.
Yeah. Well, I was looking at
lots of fun in the twisties.
I was potentially looking at it's not a super bike because I can't even imagine what the insurance would be on that, but like a Kawasaki 1000 or something.
Yeah.
And it looked fun, but it's about 20 grand. But I don't know. Because I got rid of the other one, and I've been bikeless now for a couple of years. But I don't know.
It's been 33 years since I rode a bike.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I loaned my Sportster that I bought new, the only new vehicle I ever bought. Loaned it to a buddy, and he wrapped himself around a tree, and the bike went through the trees too.
Oh, jeez.
So,
what was he thinking? Just drunk or what?
No, he was just coming back to base. The other guys were ahead of him because he's on a Harley, and everybody else is on sport bikes.
Mm-hmm.
He thought he could make the turn, and he didn't.
Jesus.
So
Buell. It says here.
That was the last time I had a bike.
Yeah, I thought about getting maybe one of the. Well, we used to call them dual purpose when we were kids, but
The
the road and
Enduros?
off track. No, it's not enduro. It's like a Honda Africa.
Yeah, like a trail bike, like what is it? GTM?
Yeah, something like that, where you can.
Yeah,
It's
the orange one.
you can ride it on the road. It's fine, but then you can also take it off road.
Yeah, you can take it on trails and whatnot.
Yeah.
That's perfect for around here because you got some highway and then you got lots of trails through the woods.
Right. So, well, let's let's go ahead and put the link in and see who wants to call in, because I know people are just dying to talk to you. Right?
Yeah, finish the video.
I'm going.
Right. This is a hard hit.
I'm on the pill. We don't need a Jimmy hat. Really?
Yeah, there's a reason why I chose this one for We Don't Need a Condom.
Okay, here we go. Ooh.
Bam!
Dare you?
You got Queen Greta in there as well.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
I went and copied her little thing, and now I put in lots of videos.
How dare you? How dare you? I should get the goat. I need one of those soundboards so I could get goat.
Well, I can make you the goat sound because I got it on my computer.
No, I have it here. It's just to play it during like a live stream I can do it, but it's not easy, right?
Oh,
so what you need is a soundboard that actually mixes your voice together with your sound effects, and then that all is going to feed in for me. So I hit the button, and it just comes out. Like, Casual Bachelor has one.
Well, Blake does it.
Blake has it too. Yeah. And so does Hammerhand. Hammerhand's been using his no eggs. You've seen that, right?
Yeah, I made him a no eggs one.
Oh,
but
that's
I haven't given it to him yet.
No eggs.
I'm still refining it.
Yeah, he's got a stream today at 6:20 Central. Let's see, what is it called?
I made one. I think I sent it to you with the F4 on the rocket sled running into the wall, and it just goes into dust.
Oh, yes.
Blake just used it on the stream.
Yep.
I sent that to Blake, and Blake snagged it.
Cool.
Because I sent him that one, and I basically yelled into the mic, and so he just took my sound off of it and made his own. So I'm like, here, check this fucker out. Threw this one together last night.
Cool. Yeah,
it took longer to go through all the videos pulling out the good crashes than it did to make the video.
Why not? What the hell, right? Oh, he's out. Oh no, Kush is not coming in. Oh no. Auto Crosswind. I leave for work in an hour, but I'll stop by for a while. So we're gonna Auto Crosswind. Do you know Auto Crosswind?
Nope.
I haven't heard of that. Nope. Mouth agape says,
but he could be autopilot.
He could be Otto. It could be, what's his face? It could be Tom Hanks from his new Otto movie, trying to drop a promo here. Yeah.
Since we're airplane guys, it could be airplane. Autopilot.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. Julie Haggerty down there blowing him up. God.
It's kind of funny. The guy that played Ted Stryker, that was the first movie he was in, right?
Really?
And then he became a commercial pilot.
No shit.
He's a commercial pilot now.
Oh my God.
He's still in movies every once in a while, but he's a commercial pilot.
That was a funny movie.
Yeah, so he played a pilot in a movie, and then he became a pilot. So that was kind of amusing.
So he wasn't in the Police Academy ones either, or was he?
No, that was Gutenberg.
Oh, okay, I confused the guy. I thought they were the same people.
Nope, different guy.
Oh, well. All right.
So it's a good thing he doesn't know how much I hate his guts. It's a good thing you don't know how much he hates your guts.
Is that from
hospital?
Airplane,
what is it? It's a big building with patients, but that's not important right now.
Leslie Nielsen. Yeah.
God, I miss that guy.
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
And stop calling me Shirley.
Exactly. All right, what's going on here? Who's in the sub? Maybe we can look at somebody else's videos. Oh, Brandon's on. Maybe we should rate him. Should we?
Yeah. Let's go rate him.
Let's see where he's at here. Hold on. Oh, he's driving up in the mountains. The mountains. Is this new for him, I wonder? I don't know. Let's see here. Hold on. Let's see. Is it going to let me switch? Sometimes it lets me switch. Share this tab instead. Oh, well, let's see, I guess. Oh, it came up. That's nice. That's the way it should work. It used to work that way. Let's see here. Hold on. Play. Live. What are they? Bullshitting?
Fantastic.
Yeah, it should.
Yeah.
Wonder where he's at.
Looks like
Could be
Montana.
Wyoming. Jesus.
That's
pretty nice, yeah.
They just like opened that
Yeah.
whole area up. You know, they just said, let's just remove everything, take everything out, and leave scrub trees. Really, it could be Texas.
Yeah, but they're not really short. We're a long way
Northern
away.
Texas looks a lot like that.
I'm not sure they're having snow in Texas, though. Yeah,
They get
that's
snow in
true.
Texas. They
But
did
I was
while I
watching
was
them
there.
a little bit yesterday. They were. Oh yeah.
Not a
That
lot
could
of
be,
snow, not
but
like
this
up
looks
here,
more
but they
like-
did some.
Yeah, it does kind of. Oh no, where the hell are you guys?
Utah, Wyoming.
Let's see, where did he go here? Cinema. Let's
Yeah,
see.
send him a message. Where the hell
Let's
are
go
you?
to a different one. Kind of looks like it could be Wyoming, but I don't know.
Yeah. I would think Wyoming would have a little bit more snow than that, though.
Yeah. Well, let's see if I can go. If something would work here.
The road is definitely straight enough for Wyoming, though.
Oh,
That's for sure.
I simply want to. All right. We're going to find out here shortly. It's still spinning its wheel. Good Lord.
Michelle's
I think my
telling us to try
computer's
the
about ready
veal.
to freaking puke here. Damn thing. It's old. What are you going to do?
Yeah. Mr. Gabera is
Where
telling
are
us to
you
try the
at?
veal and tip the wait staff. He's doing his little stand-up routine in here.
Yeah,
Hey, Dak.
of course he is. Yeah. Dax
real
here.
men,
Uh-oh.
huh?
Uh-oh. The real, yeah, he's in Canada visiting the real men. Is that where all the real men are hanging out? Okay. Let's see.
Canada, where the men are men and the sheep are
Auto-
nervous and the bears are concerned.
That's right. And everyone has a pair of Velcro glue. Works well with
Yep.
the sheep. Yeah. Let's see.
Oh,
Let
yeah,
me see if
don't
he
you?
said
No
anything.
dare. You betcha. Oh, gee, holy wow.
I'm rating you. I'm rating you. Where are you at?
That's a dangling participle.
It's hard for him to answer because obviously he's driving a truck. It is a dangling something. Yeah, it is. Let's see. Let's see if Dak wants to come in.
Oh,
Gets
Dak will
auto
come in.
crosswind here in a minute. Out fishing.
Yeah, as soon as he gets his PC
more
booted
than
up.
likely.
He must have one of those old computers where you push the button, you go make a sandwich. Come back. Oh, it's almost warmed up.
He's gonna.
Rub them on her a little bit and say, come on, baby. Come on, baby. Got to talk sweet to the old PCs.
My link did not. Yeah. Let's see. For some reason, my
Yeah.
link it didn't get pasted in. Weird. So yeah, this could be a lot of different places, but it really looks more desert-ish. You know, you got kind of scrub brush there and all that. So I don't know where the hell
It kind of
New
looks like
Mexico, maybe?
Alberta because there's nothing up in Alberta but Canucks and, long stretches of straight road.
Oh, that's what you get. And Molson Golden
Yeah.
beer and expensive cigarettes and shit. All right. Dak says it's too early. Oh, no.
Oh,
Too
come
early.
on.
So he's probably he's mountain time probably. So it's only like,
And?
he's getting up at the crack of 9. I mean, I know it's difficult.
I like to get up when the
All
sun's
right.
good
Auto
and
cross.
warm.
Hey, Hamster and Sweaty. Hey, guys. How you doing?
Hey,
Oh, wait, where's my mic? Oh, down there. Okay, hold on.
Hello,
Here you
Otto. How are you?
Hey, guys. Good. Let me put this to the slide.
Yeah.
Hello.
wie geht's, mein
drop your
Freund? Was
microphone?
ist
What'd you
los? Alles klar?
Oh, my mic was below on the desktop tower, so I had to put it just over here. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Otto, what do you
So
drive?
where are you calling us from today, Otto?
Houston, Texas. Hailing from the place where there's no hail, but yeah.
Just wait.
Yeah.
You're still in Tornado Alley, so you will get hail eventually.
Oh, well, I mean, to answer you guys from earlier, there's no snow in Texas, but now it's not where I am, but like the sun's beautiful. Like the gleaming, pleasant warmness of the sun. That's actually this morning. That's been really great, actually.
Yeah, up by Wichita Falls, it does
Nice.
snow.
Houston, which it can, yeah.
Yeah.
So Dak
Yeah.
says this is Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan.
That's what he's saying,
That's like
so
you
no.
catcher. Jeez.
I'm starting to get
Geocacher moment.
to like the Manitobans, the Saskatchewans, and the Albertans because they're telling little boy Justin, Sir Brave Sir Justin, there to go pound sand.
Stuff it up his ass. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm like, y'all Canadians, you can come down and be part of us. You're the cool Canadians out there. The Ontario
Sure.
people, they can
Yep.
stay the hell on their side of the lake.
Yeah. Well, and Montreal. Although the women are kind of pretty in Montreal. So
Well,
the Frenchy girls.
when they shave their legs.
Dude,
And
there's
you-
this one girl that's
and
from
you know
Russia
the
that went to
story.
Montreal. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
There was this one girl I knew from Russia,
please.
from Moscow, that went to Montreal. So, you know,
Moscow.
yeah, she was back and forth between Montreal and Moscow, but I think she stayed in Canada because of whatever was happening in Russia at this point. So, you know, or other things as well. But you know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
well, the brief story behind Montreal is one of the kings sent all the ladies of the evening from Paris over to Canada. And there you go. That's a true story. It actually happened. So there's some hot babes in Quebec. What
Well,
can
that
you do about it?
explains why they're so friendly.
Well, then they can be
If you
I
have money.
suppose. You ever been up to Canada? The Quebecers, I believe, the Quebecers, is that what they're called? People in Montreal, Quebec. They get all. Apparently, they all know English, right? Because Canada's got both, English and French. But if you come up there speaking English, they get all pissed. they're all fucked up.
Yeah. The only part of
That's the way
Canada
it
I've
is.
been to is the other side of the bridge from Sault Ste. Marie.
which part of
Right.
Canada has
Yeah.
the Mountie horsemen? I guess.
The Mounties? All of
Yeah.
Canada. That's like their federal police.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that right, Dak?
That's the federal
You
police.
get the
Okay.
Mounties. They show up in cars now.
I don't
They
know.
don't ride horses often.
Imagine being like in a car chase with the police, and you just go to Canada, and then you leave Canada just to avoid them again. So the laws change over and over. that happened in a cartoon one time. It was like, I think it was Johnny Test that did that. They had like they avoided the states to go to Canada, and then they leave Canada because the Canada's even worse.
Well, you've seen Super Troopers, right? The movie.
Not
Where
me.
that they kind of played on that whole
Going to
trooper thing
Canada
in
for
Canada.
poutine. Almost made it.
Yes. Well, the second one, apparently there's a part of Vermont that the United States claimed, and they brought it into the U.S. or some crazy shit. And so these guys were hired to be Mounties or vice versa. I can't remember what it was. It looked pretty funny. But they were talking about poutine and French people and or French language and all that stuff. It's a pretty good movie.
Yeah,
I
the
saw
first
him-
one was hilarious.
First one you've seen the first one, right, Otto?
Yeah.
if
Super
it's
Troopers?
Starship Troopers, maybe, but not Super Troopers.
Oh, you
it's-
got to see Super Troopers, dude.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
That's my
It's
girl. That's my car.
I've only seen the cartoon, Monty Python, not Monty, Mounties, the old classics.
Dudley
cartoons
Do-Right.
about the Mounties.
Was it Dudley Do-Right? Is that what it was?
I think so. Yeah.
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 Yeah, I remember that. But no, the movie came out in like 1998, 99. So
Yeah,
Super
Otto
Troopers.
seems like he's a little bit young.
Yeah.
yeah, how young are you, Otto?
I'm not even 26 yet. I turned 26 next March, but I'm still 25. So
25.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're old guys here, Mr. Otto.
Yeah, my kids are older than you. Jeez.
Yeah. I'm 50. I'll be 59 this year. And you're what? In your 50s, probably?
I'm 53.
53, yeah. So
Be
it's like talking to your grandfather, damn near, sir. Well, not quite, but should we bring Zombro in? Hello, Zombro.
Hey, what's up?
He's on, bro.
How you guys doing? Super Troopers was freaking hilarious. Every cop in my command, we all tried doing that meow thing.
Yep.
All right, meow.
Yep, meow.
Right.
Meow, boy, what's so funny? Am I saying meow? Jumping around all nimbly bimbly?
Freaking hilarious.
From a saucer.
And then the fat guy goes, so I'll call him a chicken fucker. Just, what's this meow thing? He didn't get it, obviously.
Yeah.
What the hell was the guy's? What was his character name? He was funny.
Farva.
Oh, Farva.
Yeah, God.
And then with the car and the doll. Oh, Farva, you lonely, lonely man.
Oh, God.
In my last unit in Charleston, there was a really hot chick that was in my unit, and she kind of had a little bit of a thing for me, judging by how she acted on a deployment we went on. But I used to wear aviators all the time, and I had a mustache. Right. And I'm a bigger guy, so I walk in and I'm still wearing my shades and stuff, and she goes, "Liter of cola." And I was like, okay, I'm shaving the mustache because fuck that. And then I went to the other different style of sunglasses.
Does that look like spit to you? Yeah. Fuck it. Let's see. I've got the
Don't
the
forget
trailer.
to cup the balls.
You got to cup the ball.
Oh, with the syrup. That made me gag.
Oh God, it was funny as hell though. They're chugging freaking maple syrup. Oh my God. Also, somebody brought up another movie those guys did. What is it called? Lizard something? Broken Lizard. They did Beer Fest, which is a fucking classic. Oh my God, what a freaking funny movie.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Oh, you haven't seen Beer Fest? Oh, jeez.
No.
I'm sorry.
I haven't watched many movies lately.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Beer Fest, it used to show up relatively frequently. I think I'm like, not Showtime, but one of those places.
Yeah, I don't do Showtime and whatnot.
No, I don't do any of that. I don't even have a freaking cable.
I think you could probably watch it on YouTube.
I'm sure you could. Yeah. Because I imagine now that I'm going to play this trailer, I'll get.
You're going to get booted.
No. Usually they don't boot you for the trailer.
Oh, no? Oh, okay.
Usually.
Discriminating audiences at the Sundance Film Festival have discovered one of the most shocking.
Probably just have to say banana once in a while.
Unflinching, eye-opening films about cops ever made.
The lice hate the powdered sugar.
The lice hate the powdered sugar. Yeah, exactly.
Look like the two dumbest guys in the world to you.
The funny thing is the chief, I guess, the old guy.
Yeah, Brian Cox.
He's in the Bourne movies as well. He was kind of a bad guy, I think. Yeah.
He was the best Hannibal Lecter ever.
Was he in that as well?
He was in the 1986 movie Manhunter. He played Hannibal Lecter. He was awesome.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, he was in the Bourne. I'm not sure which one. I think he was in at least two of them.
He was in two of them, and he was also in the Red series, with Bruce Willis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm going to pistol whip the next guy that says shenanigans.
Super Troopers. In this town, you don't mess with the law.
You know how fast you were going? 65? 63.
The law.
There he is, right there.
Littering and.
And no, it's pretty funny, Otto. If you like that kind of,
It's hilarious.
Jesus, I've got this frog in my throat. Hold on here a sec.
Don't kiss it.
Yeah, just mute
sorry.
yourself and cough real good. Turn your head and cough.
I just did. Yeah, I did. And
Don't
cup
forget
the
to
balls.
Gotta cup the balls. Yeah.
Law
Cup the
messes
balls.
with you.
Isn't the speed limit 65? Yeah, it is. Freaking out, man.
Boys like Mexico.
You boys like Mexico. Then here comes the German stolen car chick.
That chick does have a nice rack.
Oh yeah, she's a yeah.
Ain't Who says funny.
Funny shit. Yes. Then when they try to drive the semi and
Yep,
God.
they can't. They don't know how to take the park and brake off.
It's just how hard can it be, right?
You push the big red button in.
Oh.
Yeah, you double big cheeseburger. Double bacon cheeseburger. It's for a cop. What the hell's that all about? You gonna spin it now? No, I was just telling him that so he makes it good. Don't spit in that cop's burger.
Made me laugh out
Liter of cola. There's so much missing.
long and hard.
Another highway cop? What are you guys multiplying?
Does it look like spit to you? Yeah.
Damn it, you burger!
Oops. Yeah, it's just it's fun. It's a
It's
good hour and a
Afghanistan
half.
animation.
Yes.
So the troopers and the cops gotta be with each other, I guess, in this movie. Okay.
And it's kind of funny.
Well, that's actually kind of real life too, though.
The monkey's name is Johnny Chimpo, right?
Johnny Chimpo.
Johnny Chimpo, yep.
Do you know what Chimpo means in Japanese?
No.
It's your dick.
Oh,
really? A chimpo means your
Yeah,
dick?
Chimpo's your dick.
And I think
It's
Pico
the male
is
member,
penis.
your
Also.
manhood.
Like Pico in another language is also penis as well. Like I forget which
Yeah.
one it is.
Pico.
so
Yeah.
when I have pico dip here, I'm eating penis dip.
Poquito,
Maybe.
pito.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, the thing is,
Pico,
Otto,
Pico.
Zombro used to be a cop. He was a New York City cop. So he knows all about the shenanigans that these guys go.
It's where I work. It was hilarious. It was hilarious.
Easy would break into the evidence locker before parties, and that way they had enough supply to get everybody going good.
That actually happened in one of the commands in the 6-7, I think.
No
The
kidding.
guy was taking money and replacing it with he was taking money and he was cutting like paper to make it look like there was nothing missing. When they came to when they came to collect and count it, they moved like some of the money and they find a whole bunch of paper and they're like, okay, close the precinct. It was
Just plain paper, huh? Didn't
just
even
plain
bother
paper.
fixing it
He used like a paper cutter to cut it perfect dimensions, and he ended up getting locked up.
I would guess.
Yeah.
How much did he steal?
Like 50,000.
50 grand.
Yeah, something
So
like that.
it was like my cousin Vinny when Vinny's like, "How do I know you don't just have like a 20 on a roll of one? Just fan them out."
Fan him out, right?
Yeah.
Hey, guys, I think I'm gonna dip out soon so I can go to work eventually. I'll see you guys next time.
Take care.
All right. Hey, Otto,
Okay,
nice seeing
good luck
you.
at work.
Thanks,
Come
guys.
back anytime.
Yeah.
Have
All
fun
right.
flipping burgers.
Yeah,
Now,
whatever you're doing.
Now,
Yeah.
Hamster, was I correct earlier? Did you have yourself a muscle car when you were younger?
Me? No, I didn't.
No,
All my cars
did.
were shit. I had garbage.
you had garbage. Okay.
No, the man with the muscle car, of course, is sweaty. He's got all kinds of them.
Yeah, I had a 1969 Chevelle Supersport with the 396, and I stupidly sold it.
What were you thinking, man? What were you
I'm
thinking?
an idiot.
Hey, he's from New York. Forget about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Oh,
I had
God.
I had shit cars. I had a 64 Chrysler fucking Newport or something.
My mom had a 77 Newport. That thing was a battle wagon.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
it was a huge car, but the
Yeah.
problem is they put this underpowered freaking motor in there. It's just it barely moved. It was terrible.
Oh, really? My
Yeah,
mom's had a 454 or something like that in it.
Yeah,
440
440 or a
probably.
400.
Yeah.
Mine had a
440, I think.
361. 361.
Oh, yeah. No, that's underpowered.
It was a dog. Yeah.
361. It's not a terrible engine. It's just kind of small, and they usually came as 2 barrels.
It was a 2-barrel, and
Yeah.
the car was so heavy. The car was like 5,000 pounds or something.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Newport.
I think my mom's was like 5,500 pounds. But my brother used to race people on Nichols Road in Suffolk County.
Oh yeah.
My mom, it was funny. My mom would pull up the traffic lights and she said, people were waving at me and revving their engines. I don't understand.
It's like, you got a hot rod there, Mom. That's funny. But mine did have the push button transmission. So that was kind of interesting.
I never saw that.
Yeah, the 60s Mopars had those often.
Yeah. Basically, your parking switch was on the left side of the buttons. And so to take it out of park, you'd flip the switch. It was like a big handle. And then you'd push a button and you could go.
You hit reverse, neutral, drive.
Yep.
1, 2.
And I mean, yeah, you could fit like 400 people in the car. It was huge.
Yeah, you could fit, probably 7 or 8 dead hookers in the trunk. Probably at least 12 if you cut them up a little bit.
Oh, at least.
Yeah.
Probably one of the ugliest cars I think that they ever made. It was just an ugly ass car. Here, I'll pull up a picture of it. Just Chrysler Newport 64. And then I did have the 70 Monaco, which had the 440 in it.
Yeah.
The Monaco.
It was 2-door.
Named after a racetrack, and it's a giant tank of a car.
I mean, the doors were like as long as a car. It was amazing. It was a 2-door.
Yeah.
It was just.
Oh, that's like that old Chevy Monte Carlo two-door model. It was freaking, the doors were like free.
Yeah.
They were like freaking sails.
Yeah, the Monte Carlo was a Chevy version of the Grand Prix.
Yes.
And the way that they built those was they took the station wagon A-body chassis, the Le Mans Chevelle, Cutlass chassis, station wagon. So they had the really long wheelbase. And then they put a 2-door body on it. And, they had about a 2-acre hood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just like this enormous hood. And John DeLorean, when they designed the 68 Grand Prix, for the 69 year, which is on the A-body instead of the big car, he said, I want to have the longest hood in the industry. And God, it sucked working on those things. You had to crawl up into them just to be able to reach the car, the engine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that was a nice car, though. I mean, the Monties were pretty nice. Pontiacs are probably better, though.
Oh, the Grand Prix were friggin' amazing.
Grand Prix were nice.
Yeah. And I mean, I even liked the second or third generation where they were sort of the smaller one. A friend of mine had a, I think he had a Cutlass, but they were basically all the same. They were all right. I liked them.
I'd really like to have the 69 to 72 Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Just they have the best styling of all of them.
What year did you say? 69?
69 to 72.
69 Grand Prix. Let's look. Yeah, I like those. I like the front end.
Giant
I think
chrome bumper.
Yeah, just massive.
Yeah,
although
the 68
I do have
was a big car.
Yeah, this is nice. I do like the one that I put up for the whatever, because I like the top bottom headlight scheme. I just think that's really pretty. I don't know what car that was. That was a Goat, I think. GTO.
Yeah,
I like those. And then the Goat, the round Goats are fine too. All the Goats are fine. Even the new one that they made, I guess they made that in Australia.
Yep. 04,
the
05,
Holden. Yeah.
06, Holden Monero.
Yeah. And yeah, that had a big V8 in it too, I think, didn't it?
It had a 6-liter, and there was no options you could get. It was a fully loaded $34,000 car.
Yep, I remember that.
And the options you had were colors of the seats, the exterior, and whether it was automatic or manual. You could get a 6-speed or a 4-speed auto. Those are the only options you could get. And I was like, give me the option to get rid of all the heads-up display and all the other crap and leather interior. I don't care. Give me that car at $23,000 and I'll buy 5 of them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
34 grand. I was like, nah, I ain't doing that.
Did the smaller G4, whatever the hell, G3, 4, 6,
the G8, G6,
or 8? Is that they came out about the same time, didn't they? Or?
Yeah, the G8 was basically the older Grand Prix, They took the Grand Prix like the 98 to 07 or 06 and turned it into a G8. And they actually put V8s in those.
Really?
Transverse, all-wheel drive. Yeah. Kind of
Nice.
silly little cars. A little bit stupid.
But then Pontiac went away because I had the 92. Bonneville.
Well, Barry come in and said, well, GM, you got to get rid of Pontiac because he didn't like the acronym that everybody likes to say all the time.
Poor old N-word thinks it's a Cadillac.
Yeah.
But that's a pretty good example of, subtle racism, maybe.
Well, it's a pretty good example of government sticking their nose in places it shouldn't be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it kind of made a little bit of sense. Maybe they should have, because like Chevrolet, the Corvette is almost like its own thing, right? Yeah. It's a Chevy, but it's its own thing. So, I mean, they could have done something with Pontiac. Maybe kept that as literally a sports, a Trans Am or Camaro or something like that. But
that's the funny thing. Pontiac and Chevy went round and round a lot in the 60s.
Yeah.
There was a race where it was a road race. And they had all these new 63 Corvettes, and they had the 427 mystery motor. It was a big block Chevy, before it was actually released. So they called it the mystery motor. So big block, typical big block Corvettes on a road track, racing against 350s and whatnot. And a bunch of Pontiac guys got together and put a 421 into a 63 Tempest. With the four-wheel independent and the transaxle out back like the Corvette had for a few years, in the 90s, 2000s. And they lapped all the Corvettes, right? And most of them they lapped like 5 times. There was there was more than a minute of time in between when the Le Mans finished and when everybody else showed up, right?
Yeah.
And that like freaked out the Chevy guys because they're like, we're supposed to have like the premier sports car, and you come out with this grandma looking 63 Le Mans and like just obliterate us.
You beat the shit out of us, yeah. Well, I mean, they even
like that.
They even had their own motors and shit too, didn't they? For a while.
Yeah.
There was a Buick or an Oldsmobile 40 something.
Yeah, and I'm a huge fan of the Pontiac engine. I love those things.
Oh, I saw you did a video. You were pointing out the differences in the head the other day.
Well, that was just like how to identify one. I'm working on a video that I'm going to take, because I got all 3 of these engines. I got a small block Chevy. I'm going to have it without the heads and with the heads and everything and show the differences. And then the Pontiacs and then the LS, because the new LS is more derivative of a Pontiac engine than it is of a Chevy engine. So I get a kick out of the whole Chevy trying to keep Pontiac down all through the 60s and 70s, and now they essentially have a Pontiac engine in their Corvette, so it just tickles me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what would be the difference in like a Pontiac V8 and a Chevy? Would it be different stroke, bore, all that, or
just everything's completely different? And like the small block Chevy, it's got these little short intake runners and big ports, so it's a high RPM engine. It doesn't make any bottom end torque. They're all like, woohoo, we hit 400 foot-pounds. And I'm like, my engines do 500 foot-pounds at idle. Yeah. Whatever. It's idling at 500 foot-pounds. And it's still carrying 500 foot-pounds at 5,000 RPM. So it's just like this big, flat torque curve. So you don't need a lot of gear. You can like put a 273 or a 355 behind it, and it'll just like, haul ass. Heavy car. Moves it no problem. And then the Chevys, you got to have a big stall and deep gears, like 4,000, 5,000 stall, 456 gears. And then you got to wind the snot out of it. You're using like 800 RPM to propel the car. And I'm using, 2,000 to 5,000 or 6,000.
So I mean, why wouldn't they just go with one that was better overall? Or they thought they were better on their own, or what?
The Pontiac is probably the best non-LS engine that GM ever made. Okay. Especially for emissions, because you can make a Pontiac meet emission standards without catalytic converters.
Oh, really?
Okay. Yeah. You can't do that with a Chevy. You can get good mileage out of them. It's all about how you tune them and set them up.
Right.
And what cam and heads and everything. But
sure.
The the reason why they went with a Chevy is because Japan was kicking the living shit out of GM and Ford and everybody else in the 80s.
Yeah.
You know, started in the 70s and then it went in the 80s. And that's why we started getting little piece of shit crap boxes with bad electrical systems and really bad build quality in the 80s.
Yep.
That's why 80s cars will never be classics.
Well, I mean, that's, that was another crap car. I had a Vega, which is the 140, I think is what it was.
Yeah. Which is a cool little car, but they're
just rust buckets. They just rusted away.
Yeah. Well,
they eventually figured it out. But, my thing, I had a station wagon, believe it or not.
Yeah.
A little manual station wagon, which was fun. It was, fun little car. But, the freaking tie rods fell off one night. I got the wife in the car and the kid, and the freaking steering stopped working. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah. 455 Buicks fit in Vegas really well.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And 455 Pontiacs. You got to cut a hole in the hood for the air filter, but
sure. Yeah, well, you'd have that would be a machine right there because they were light little cars. There wasn't much.
Well, they're relatively light.
Well, compared to a big boat, yeah.
Yeah, but the Chevy cost about $2 less per unit to make.
Yeah,
at the factory than the Pontiac because the Pontiac had more machine work. And it took like two extra sand casting cores.
Yep.
But it cost you about $1,000 of machine work to bring a small block Chevy up to the standard that a Pontiac is from the factory. Screw in studs, machine combustion chambers, 14-degree cylinder heads cost even more on a Chevy. The plate that controls the camshaft end plate instead of just a button or relying on the timing chain like a Chevy does. There's just so much better engineering in a Pontiac.
Right.
But the Chevy was cheaper and they were making millions of engines every year. So even if it's like 2 cents,
it's still real money.
It costs 5 cents more to build one engine. And you can do this engine for 5 cents less when you got all these other companies from Japan, and Germany kicking your ass. You're going to go with the cheapest one possible. And that's what they did. The barely adequate, cheapest taxi cab engine.
Well, I mean, that's bean counter engineering is what it is.
Yeah.
It does what the expectations are, the requirements, and it costs $2 less. Well, it's good enough.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's trust me, we all know how it works, right? It's all bean counter bullshit.
But Pontiac guys have a chip on their shoulder about all that shit because they weren't allowed to have forged rods from the factory when all the other GM ones were. They weren't allowed to do their race, and the racing ban in 1963 was to keep Pontiac from beating the hell out of everybody.
No, they're fun. I mean, I drove I don't know if it was a Grand Prix or whatever, with a big engine in there. It was a freaking hoot. It was fun.
You should drive my GTO sometime. It scoots a little bit. It'll bust on a Hellcat pretty easy.
I would expect nothing less, Mr. Thumpr.
Yeah, I got an old engine designed in 1954. And heads from 1967. This is all old technology, and it will just walk the dog, just show tail lights to a blown Hemi and a new Hellcat Cuda Challenger, or Challenger or Charger.
Yep.
Also, they're pulling around, 4,400 pounds.
True.
So,
well, but I mean, they might be more efficient or something, but you just got more. You don't care. Well, you just dump as much gas in there as you want. I want it to go.
They got better aerodynamics than my old Goat does.
Well, sure. Yeah.
If when I get the 5-speed in it, and
do you have the square Goat or the round Goat? I
got the square one.
Okay, I love those.
Well, I got square ones and round ones.
Okay. I think the square ones are just elegant looking, sexy looking machines. I like them.
Yeah, the 65s. I got a 65, a 69, 70, and a 72.
The one I had on the picture, it almost looks like just a teen girl in a way, just ready to go. There's just something there. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, let's go party, boys. I'm having, I've got my body here. I've got everything. And it's like, wow, that's, I like that. I like that. Oh, let's see. Rusty Rivers is here. Hey, Rusty, where in the hell is True Blood? We're thinking Canada, but we don't know. We rated him a little earlier. Now Rusty's not going to answer. Okay. Nobody likes this, man. Nobody.
Well, that's okay.
That's okay.
I'm not a very likable person.
That's true.
Sport.
I'm not really saying that.
Teams from
Beer
around
Fest.
the world.
You haven't seen Beer Fest yet, huh?
No.
Same guys. Same group of dudes.
Like we got the Brits in round one.
Gather to compete.
We're gonna put the skitters in your Alan Ricketts, you plonker.
Do you know what he's saying?
Beer Fest.
It's a good movie. Willie Nelson, I think,
that
shows
one
up at the end. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Games begin.
And that guy he's a bad guy from another movie too. I can't remember which one.
He's a bad guy in all the movies.
He might have been in. I know he was in Replacement Killers, which I love that movie. A lot of people are, that movie kind of sucks. I like it. I thought it was a really good movie. You ever see that? With what's her face? Chow Yun Fat and Mira Sorvino.
I might have seen it, but I don't remember.
There's a lot of shooting and there's a lot of bad guys, and it's pretty good. I like it. Anyway,
Because I've seen Natural Born Killers with Woody.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess I didn't really appreciate that movie as much maybe as people did. It's all right. I didn't get crazy. What's her face was in it. She's kind of cute. What is her name? God.
I don't remember.
Juliette Lewis.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my brain. Oh, there's your car. We'll share that. There it is.
Yeah, that's a 65, and you can see a 70 sitting right here.
Yeah, that's the round one, right?
Yeah,
the square
one of the
or
round
the
ones.
rectangular one here.
Yep.
No, I like the headlights with the two above and below. I don't know. I think it looks cool.
I like them both. The 70
sure.
has a lot better aerodynamics than the 65.
Sure.
That blue car, God, it's like pushing a parachute. You let off the gas and it slows down immediately.
Yeah.
The 70, you let off the gas and it kind of like, it cuts through the air a little bit better.
Sure. So what do you have in this blue one? What's the engine?
455. It's 30 over, so it's a 462 and
Jesus.
run 11.5 to 1.
Oh my God.
E85 with Phytech fuel injection.
So it might go a little bit. Is what you're saying?
Oh, if with an automatic, you can just pull it down into first gear and sit there at idle. Don't hold the brake or anything, and just mat the gas, and it'll just turn the rear tires into smoke.
Nice. Did you go out as fast as you could on some safe area and see what you could get out of it?
Well, I got a nice straight stretch of highway in front of the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I haven't had it over 100 mile an hour yet. I just don't. I don't see a need to, because I might lose chrome trim. It's kind of pieced together.
I hear you. Yeah.
The gold one, it ran 1260s at like 115 and a quarter.
Okay.
With the 293 gear and another 455.
Wow. 450. That's a big engine.
7.5 liter, 7.4. Yeah.
That's a big engine.
Well, it looks the same as a 350 though.
Right, but the heads are different and the pistons are
different. Everything's Pontiacs are all the same externally.
Mm-hmm.
Within certain year breaks, like 65 up and 64 earlier, they have a different intake manifold angle and stuff. And then there's a different valve angle change in 67. But other than that, they all look pretty much the same. So it can be a 326, it can be a 540. You don't know.
Really?
Unless you're a Pontiac guy.
No kidding. Wow. Yeah. But I mean, they'd have to bore things out, wouldn't they, or no?
Well, yeah, the bore and stroke's different in some of them, or
sure.
most of them.
Yeah, because it's a combination of stroke and bore, I think.
Yeah.
Because the bore and stroke, that'll determine your torque, right, to some degree.
That and the intake runner length.
Sure. Yeah, because I think a longer stroke is you typically have a little more torque, I think, but I don't know that. And
Yeah,
a shorter stroke
longer
and a bigger
stroke tends
piston
to.
is going to longer or shorter stroke and the bigger piston is going to get your high revving more of an engine, right?
Yeah.
I believe that's the case. Yeah.
Here, I got a. That's the engine that's in the goat.
Well, let's look at it.
I got a roller cam in it.
Ooh, nice and shiny.
Oh yeah.
Is that all new, or you just cleaned it up nice, or what?
Well, I built it in 2010. I've been running it in the 65 since 18. And this is when I swapped heads on it.
Okay.
It had heads that made 13-1, but because I only got 4 bolts per cylinder, right? So over 11 and a half, 12-1, I start needing really good gaskets, and they're like $100 a pop.
Sure.
Per side. At least you can reuse them.
But
I didn't want to spend $100, $200 to put head gaskets in it.
Right.
So I just lowered the compression instead.
So you get a little less out of it then, huh?
Yeah. With the 13-1 heads, that thing was just absolutely stupid. They flow more air and they make a lot more power.
Oh yeah. Well,
and they're kind of nuts.
Yeah, it's part of the fun, right?
Yep. And here's what the car looked like when I got it.
Oh, okay.
That's the blue car when I got it. You couldn't put glass in it because the pinch welds were completely rusted out.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All the way around.
All that? Or have somebody redo all that?
Huh?
I said you had to have somebody redo all that, or you did?
No, I did all of that. I did every bit of work to it.
I mean, it looks like a pretty straight car otherwise,
Well, the rust.
Well, yeah. Well, it's Michigan.
This quarter, I completely cut off.
Really?
Yeah, there was a giant gouge right down the center here. And they put this quarter over top of the one that got smashed in. So there was a big chunk of quarter panel in right here, and it was all bashed in underneath this. So this was all junk.
They just put another one over the other one?
Yeah, they just cut a big hole and then they brazed it, oxyacetylene brazing.
Yep.
And there was about a 2-inch channel right through here and down the back where they stuck that quarter on in the 70s or 80s before MIG welders.
So
and
what
they did
would
a
you
really bad job?
What would you have to pay for this? The way when you got it?
I paid $1,500 for it in the condition that it is here.
Oh, that's not terrible.
Yeah. And I got about 15 grand in it total to make
15?
Yeah. And about 3,000 hours, 1,500 hours were just welding sheet metal in.
Jesus. So you have all that. You have all the equipment, obviously, there, huh?
I'm getting more all the time. I
Sure.
need some more. I need like a plasma cutter, and I'd really like to have a TIG welder. But
I mean, yeah, the more toys, the better.
Yeah, that's only like another $6,000 worth of equipment.
That's nothing. Just buy crypto. You'll be fine.
Oh yeah.
Go down to your local welding. Say, hey, would you take a Bitcoin for this?
Yeah. You see this hood back here in the corner?
I see that. Yes.
This one, that's a 71 and 72 GTO front end hood. And this one's rust free without any dents. And that's worth about $5,000.
Really? Just for the hood?
Just the hood.
Wow. Damn.
It's a little bit nuts.
So there's obviously a big market for this stuff. Looks like.
Well, yeah. There's my Firebird and my Le Mans.
Oh, you got a Firebird too, do you?
I got 11 Firebirds.
11 of them? Oh my God.
See, but here's the quarter. I cut this off of a Tempest that's been sitting out in the woods, or what had been sitting out in the woods for about 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then I changed it from a post car to a hardtop, because my car's a hardtop. And there's a gap right in through here that you can kind of see. Yeah, there's a little Bondo right through there, some filler.
Yeah.
It was all leaded in. And I cut this off and patched the bottoms and put that quarter on my car.
Okay. That it
And
just fits. It just
yeah,
fits.
I had 600 feet of electrical cords running my Sawzall to chop up that poor Tempest.
It was literally out in the woods, huh?
Yeah, and there
Wow.
wasn't enough of the frame left to drag it out of there.
Oh,
so
okay.
we just cut it up and put it in the back of my truck and hauled it out of there piece by piece.
Wow. Would you have brought a generator along or something? And
no, we ran 600 feet of cord from his house out to where he had the cars. He's got like
okay.
100, 200 cars out in the woods. That's when I was still building it. It was yellow at one time.
No, that looks pretty good too. But the blue really looks nice. I like that. Yeah.
I didn't like the yellow, and that's the first engine I had in it.
Okay.
Yeah, they all look the same on the externally. There's a few differences the Pontiac guys would know, but otherwise you open the hood and they see that, they don't know what the hell it is. You got to be a Pontiac guy, and then even then you're like, oh, so you got the smogger heads. What else you got in it?
Mm-hmm.
You never know what size it is until you start looking around.
No, that's you're obviously an expert at it.
And that interior came out of the blue and gold Le Mans that I got down in Flint. An old lady owned it, and she drove it to church, seriously, and it sat in the garage, and it hadn't moved since 82. But she smoked a lot, so it was like covered in
nicotine.
That tar. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This is when we were cleaning it.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Oof. Yeah, if you're smoking in your car, white might not be the best color.
Yeah,
because it's going to attract all that nasty. Yeah,
that's what the insides of a transmission looks like. Turbo 350.
Oh, okay. So you had to rebuild that as well.
I rebuild them all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I don't mind the yellow, but the blue is, I think, better.
It's just too grandpa.
That's for the fun part, though.
Yeah.
Driving around in that car, it's like, oh, look at the grandpa, and you got 450 million horsepower, and you just kick everybody's ass.
Well, that's what the other cars are for.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
This one's just like a daily driver.
Sweet. How hard is it to rebuild a transmission? Is it once you know what you're doing, it's probably all right?
Yeah, it's pretty easy. Takes me about 3-4 hours to do a Turbo 350 or a C4, a Ford.
So when you say do, you're taking out all the shit, cleaning it, putting all the parts in.
It takes longer to clean it than it does to do anything else.
Right.
I have a picture. Yeah.
There's solenoids and crap in there, or some kind of valves you got to worry about.
Well, there's some valves. There's clutch plates and things like that.
Oh, some of them, some of the valves might be mechanical, right? They're not. Well,
they're spool valves, and the new ones are all electric. They got solenoids to run the valves and shit.
Right. Yeah, the electric ones, but the old days it was a little different, probably. Yeah.
So it's all hydraulic, and these are a lot of my projects.
You got a couple things going on.
Yeah, just a couple.
You got an old, what is that? A C10?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's getting a 6-liter.
Is that a short box?
Yep, short box, 76. I got an 80. I just picked up.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've also got this one. It's an 88 1500.
Yeah, that's a newer one. Yeah.
Yeah, that one had a 4.3 in it.
They changed the style, I believe, in 86.
Yeah, they're both getting 6 liters.
6 liters. All right.
And see, I even have Fords.
Oh, yeah. That's a Mustang.
Yeah, I've been trying to sell that thing. I've tried to give it away. I've tried to sell it. I guess I just got to finish it, and maybe somebody will want it.
That's a 70 maybe? 71?
Yeah, it's a 71.
Yeah.
And this is a 71 Formula 400. I need to bring it up here and get a title for it. This is the 68 Le Mans that I'm building into a race car right now.
Mm-hmm.
79 Trans Am I got for my wife, and then give it to my daughter. So I got to fix that up for her. And the 72 car, this is like the rarest car and the most valuable one that I own.
Really?
Yeah.
Pontiac, just Trans Am?
Yeah. Well, it's a 72 Formula.
formula
with a 455 HO. It's the Trans Am engine, the top of the line. You know, they only built 276 of them.
Oh, really? Jeez.
And this is a one of one special ordered one.
Ooh, okay.
So I've been offered 20 grand for it and didn't take it.
Interesting.
Just like it sits, rust and everything.
Wow.
And then this is my 69 GTO. It's a little bit rough.
Yeah, we're going to need to buff a little more on that one, I think.
Yeah.
But I always have loved the Pontiac wheels. I don't know why. I just think they look great. The 5-spoke or whatever they're called. Yeah.
I got a few sets of them somewhere.
Yeah. Now, did the Pontiacs come with the red striped on the tires, or was that the Dodges? I can't remember.
Well, they were just cheap tires.
The red striped ones were cheap?
Yeah. They were cheap, so everybody had them. It wasn't anything special.
Okay.
That's me way back in 1987.
Wow, you aren't crushing the car at that point. So
I was only like 180 pounds.
Yeah, you look pretty good. So this is a what year is this?
That's a 79 10th anniversary Trans Am.
What do they have in that?
403 olds. They built 7,500 of those.
Oh, okay. Manual or auto?
Well, 1,500 of them had 400s and 4-speeds, and the rest of them were 403 automatics.
Okay.
That thing ran pretty decent for a 4,200 pound car.
They're not a bad car. I've driven them. I'm not real big on the later ones. They're okay.
It handled really well.
Yeah, you have a red one. Mom, my old man had a 70.5 Camaro, but it had the Iron Duke in it, I think.
Yeah.
So it wasn't it wasn't any speed demon for sure.
That's what's left of a Firebird, 68 Firebird.
Yep.
And turns out it's a special ordered, unique one of one car.
Really?
Yeah. Because of the cowl tag actually says special on it.
No kidding.
Yeah.
What was the special part? Do you know?
It has a non-stock factory color, which is this goldenrod yellow.
Oh, okay.
And it had a tan leather interior.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
So
buddy of mine had
400 automatic car.
He had I think it was a 68 or 7 Camaro. And I think he had to replace all of the shit in the back end where the where the leaf springs hook him to the body. It was all rusty and shit.
Yeah.
So he had to fix all that up.
So I'm going to start getting parts together for it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's kind of what you do, right? You just fix cars up. Yeah. Yeah. So
I take rusty junk and turn it into something drivable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
nice.
Do fun things like this.
Cool. That's a twin 4-barrel, right?
Yep. Dual quad for Pontiac. And I have a tunnel ram and a supercharger and a tri-power and all kinds of stuff.
You can still get parts pretty easily for this stuff? For the carburetors, I mean, or whatever.
For carburetors, yeah.
Yeah.
But some parts are hard to come by.
Yeah.
You know, like I can't get fenders, I can't get doors, can't get a full quarter, I can only get skins and patches for 65s. 69, I can get every part of the car for 69.
Really?
So the really rusty 69 I have, if I want to, I can go through and make it completely 100%, you know.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I would imagine somebody somewhere, if there was a market, they could make those fenders, right?
Well, but there's not that many 65 GTOs out there.
Right.
You know, everybody likes the later ones.
Mm-hmm.
So they just weren't selling as many. So they didn't do a whole lot of repops on them.
Sure. Yeah. But I mean, you'd think it'd be fairly straightforward, especially with computers nowadays. I mean, you should be able to bend one up pretty easily, I would think.
Well, they're all coming from Taiwan, and we see how that's
they're from China, right?
Yeah. I'm going to cycle back through a little bit here.
Yeah, when I had to...
This is my yard.
Yeah, I guessed. Yeah, that's... I like it, though. I like the trees and all the cars. It's fun. It's a toy shop. It's fun.
It's a little bit different now, but...
Yeah.
One of the car shows. Oh, this is the 455 HO. That is a really rare engine.
Wow.
And the guy painted it red that I got it from, so I got to fix all that.
So the HO, they would do something else with the intakes or something to make that happen, or
totally different cylinder heads.
okay, all right.
You know, it's like a Ram Air 4 Super Duty. All those had the same sort, and this is the one of the engines.
I mean, what do? They swirl the gas air different? Or
No, they just flow a lot more air.
Flow a lot more. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Thus, you could shove more gas in there. Yeah.
Yeah. And this was my roughly 700 horse 467. I took the heads and stuff off and put them on a 505. So,
505.
Yeah, I got a completely aftermarket engine. The only thing that's factory on it now is the front timing cover that's under here.
Wow.
So everything else on it, it's completely aftermarket. The block, the crank, the cam, friggin' everything.
So what do you look for when you're going to buy? Like, okay, I need new piston arms or something. What do you look for?
Well, I go to Summit, Jags, or get a hold of one of the Pontiac guys and look through their catalog.
So, I mean, do they come in different style, like forged and welded or what? I don't know.
Well, yeah, you get forged, cast, and hyper eutectic.
Okay.
Cast is like cheap. Hyper eutectic's in between forged and cast. It's a cast piston with a lot more silicon in it.
Mm-hmm.
So they're a little bit heavier, but the forged is I only get forged pistons. I'm like, screw it.
Yeah.
You know,
so they're better, stronger.
Yeah.
For you.
Forged pistons went from like $300 to like $600-700 now. So it's getting expensive for every engine.
$700 a crack. Huh? Wow.
Yeah. And I made the radiator support out of an old satellite dish. It's all aluminum.
Out of an old satellite dish. I love it.
Yeah.
That's great.
This car was 3,750 pounds when I drove it with basically the same engine that's in the 65 Goat, and it ran like 1140s with a 342 gear. And now it's down to about 2,800 pounds.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
So I've done a little bit of work to it. And now it's got a 461 in it that's not anywhere near as badass as this particular engine was. And I still have all of that engine. It's just sitting off to the side, and the heads are on my big engine now. But it should still be able to put it into the low tens real easy.
Nice.
And
so I mean, how do like when you're doing all this modification, can you just go get like a regular registration, or do you have to tell them to change a bunch of stuff? Or?
No, I just go down and put plates on it and get insurance, and nobody asks me a damn thing. That's the cool thing about Michigan. They don't give a damn.
Interesting. Do they have inspection up there?
Nope.
They don't? Okay.
No, I won't live in a state with vehicle inspection because I wouldn't be able to drive anything I own.
Yeah, well, they do it to us here. You know, it's like my car's new enough. You can get it for 2 years. I mean, they just look at the freaking exhaust mainly.
Yeah.
And it's only around the counties here around St. Louis. You know, the rest of the state is like, fuck it. We don't care.
This is a friend of mine's Nova. He's got a little bit of big tires.
Novas are fun. I always like the Nova.
We put it up on my lift, and I took some pictures of it. We were doing some stuff.
That's clean. That's nice. What does he do with that? Does he race it or?
Well, he just kind of drives it around a little bit. He doesn't have enough power to really race it. It's not any faster than my 65.
Mm-hmm.
So, which is still moving pretty good, but you know, for something with big tires and all the stuff done to it, it should be faster.
Yeah, I always thought the Novas were kind of a fun little car.
Yeah,
they were just they just felt kind of fun.
Yep. See, and here's 3 of my Firebirds, and I have 8 others. Yep. 8 and 3. Yeah, that's 11.
So you just leave them outside?
They're all under a lean-to now.
Okay.
I built a lean-to on the side of my shop.
I was going to say I'd be with all that money laying there. I wouldn't want to just have them out in the snow. That'd be terrible.
Well, this one's out in the snow, and these 2 or these 3 are all under the yeah.
Well, you could have a tree fall too. You wouldn't want that either.
The trees are a source of consternation.
Yeah.
Because if a tree falls on one like this one, That's like way too valuable of a car to just have a tree fall on it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah,
because when I was where I had the place where there were trees, I had trees falling down all the time. Fortunately, they were out in the woods, but they weren't near me. But still.
Yep. Oh, here's how you can tell the size of a Pontiac. Some of the blocks. This one's a 455, so it's got 455 on the side.
Oh, okay.
It's cast in here on this side, and then there's a dipstick tube on the other side going up roughly right here, and it's right behind the dipstick tube. That's how you can tell what size block it is. But with stroker cranks, we can go up to a 4.5-inch stroker crank, with no problem. The 455 had a 421 stroke, 4.21 inches. So a 455 with a 4.5-inch stroke becomes a 489.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, I mean, explain that to me, though, just a little bit. So,
you're moving the pistons further and increasing the displacement.
Yeah, right. But there's room in there to get another, third of an inch up to a quarter.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's a 1/4 inch, 421 to 4.5.
So there's that much. I don't know. I don't want to call it slop, but I mean, it seems.
No, it's just there's not much room inside them. I can put the same 4.5-inch crank in a 400, and I have to do just a little bit of grinding in one area.
Okay. I guess what I'm saying is that when you have the original, you got the thing, and you got the piston on the end of it. So at top dead center, how far are you away? I guess you're at least a 1/4 inch, right? Or else you couldn't add a 1/4 inch to it, right?
Well, no, you have different piston pin heights.
Oh, okay.
So where the piston pin rides in the piston.
Okay, yeah. I got you. So there's more to the story. Okay.
Yeah, because this particular engine, and then all my engines that I get aftermarket crank kits for, they got 6.8-inch rods. So the factory, every Pontiac going back from 1954 to 1979, other than the 301s, had a 6.625-inch rod.
Okay.
So the big thing with Chevys is putting 6-inch rods in them, and my engines come with 6.5-inch rods from the factory.
And so if you want to change that, 6.5 inch. But so if you want to change that, if you want to squeeze more into it, you'd have to change your piston then too, right?
Yeah.
So if you made the rod longer or shorter, or whatever, you'd have to adjust with the piston.
Yeah,
height,
the piston pin. You move the piston pin either up or down, depending on which way you're going with the stroke.
It's okay. The piston pin, though. I mean, wouldn't you have to change your piston itself, or no?
Well, yeah.
Okay, I got you.
You got to forge the piston with the pin boss at a different spot.
With you, yeah.
And it's a 67 Cougar Coyote.
67 Cougar. Okay.
Yeah, that's what my red one is.
Oh yeah, I was going to ask you about that. It didn't look like it looked like a Ford.
Yeah, that was my first car that I bought when I was 13, 40 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
You still have the damn car, huh?
Yep.
Wow.
This is when I was switching out the mild 400 for the little bit healthier 455.
Oh yeah.
I pulled it out of the 70 and put it in the 65.
Nice. There you go. Then you just drop that assembly in, bolt it in, and you're off to the races, huh?
Yeah, if it's got another Pontiac in it, you can just shove another one in there.
Nice.
This is before my shop was completely full of stuff.
Well, you got a nice lifter thingy too, huh? Cool.
Yeah, when I built the shop back in 2015, I was like, I got a little extra money, so on my building loan. So I was like, I want to buy a lift. Screw it, I need one. I'm getting old.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
that
exactly.
was like one of the very best things I ever did.
Yeah.
That
way you could you don't have to crawl on the ground and get cold and nasty and
so it makes working on stuff so much easier.
Yeah. Oh yeah, if you have the right tools, right? It's always a little easier if you have the right stuff. Thumper's driving big blocks with a cigarette in his mouth at 13.
Except that I never smoked.
You never smoked, huh? Okay. Looking like rebel without a cause when you were 13.
Yeah. And this is my family's cars.
Okay, so we got some kind of an older unit there. Oh, is that a
that's
Dodge?
It's a 36 Plymouth.
That's a Duster. I know.
Yeah, this is a 71 or 2 Duster. That's
So
my
this is
nephew's
also
car.
Nice.
That's my sister-in-law owns this one. It's a 63 dark convertible with a slant 6 in it.
Yep.
We call it the sewing machine because she starts it up and it just like sounds like a sewing machine running. It's so smooth. It's cool. It's just like, it's not fast. It's not a hot rod. It's just really cool.
It runs well. Yeah. My mother had the 74 with a 225.
Yeah. And then my brother's 68 Mustang that we got from a guy I worked with, because he bought this Mustang, right? And he's like, I want to fix it up and go do the car thing like you are. So he buys this Mustang, and I told him, don't buy that one at that much money, because he paid like $2,500 for it.
Really?
And I was like, that's way too much, And so he bought it. And then 2 weeks later, he goes out and buys a new Cavalier, in the 90s. So he's got this $25,000 car note now. And I'm like, you want to get in the car thing, but then you go buy a new piece of junk?
Yeah, exactly.
It's just going to sit there. That's what it did. It sat there forever. And then I was like, well, hey, man, my little brother needs a car and my dad wants to buy your Mustang. So they worked out a deal. He wasn't real thrilled about it, but.
Well, I mean, it's just going to sit there. What are you going to do?
Yeah, And so we fixed it up and painted it up for him and everything. And then the Cuda that my dad left me, this one's mine now, the green one.
Barracuda.
And, my dad owned this one and the Fury, which didn't make it this far. This was after we drove 600 miles with a whole bunch of other cars that year.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, this is my brother's yard. We all just parked him on the yard and took a picture.
Where's that at?
That's in Nebraska.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I mean, can you tell it's Nebraska?
Oh, well, it's sometimes. Sometimes it's hard to tell.
It's not Colorado.
Well, I mean, Eastern Colorado.
Yeah, if you look east in Denver, it's flat like this. But then you look west, it's totally
little mountainous.
Yeah, there's a little mountain there.
Yeah, I mean, if you get into, the border of Kansas and Nebraska, it's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
It's flat. You got, prairie grass and all that kind of crap.
Well, you get off of the interstate and you go outside the Platte River Valley, because the interstate runs through the Platte River Valley, and the Platte River Valley is like 50 miles wide.
Yep.
Because it's technically a braided stream, not really a river, if you want to use the geological term.
Yeah.
And you get away from that, and then you start getting Nebraska with hills and bluffs and, all the cool stuff. But
yeah, you're getting more Colorado-like. Yeah.
Yeah. Through the middle, it's like flat with rolling hills.
Yeah. Oh, I've been there. Yeah. I told you that story. I went to Platte or North Platte.
North Platte. Yeah.
On my way to Colorado in 1988, maybe. And I got up in the sandhills up there, and it's like, what the hell is this? It was weird. It was cool, but I mean, I didn't expect that. So.
Yeah, you got the sandhills up in the northern part of the Panhandle, or North Platte. They're out to Chadron and Sydney, out there where Jimmy Bones lives.
Yep.
And then you go a little bit south of where Jimmy Bones is, and you run into Chimney Rock, Scotts Bluff, and the Badlands.
Yep. Yeah, you've been to the Badlands.
Really cool.
Me and Johnny went through the Badlands and the motorcycle trip. That was cool. It was fun. It's awesome. That little part of South Dakota. Well, Badlands are in Nebraska as well, but we were up in South Dakota.
Wyoming, South Dakota, and Nebraska have the Badlands.
Yep.
And the Black Hills, that's a really nice drive. Going through the Black Hills up in South Dakota.
We went into Wyoming up by, what's the place where they have the bike rally? Sturgis?
Yeah, Sturgis.
Somewhere up in there, there's a road that goes into Wyoming, and it was really nice. We were going to go over to the Devil's Tower.
Yeah.
So we took the state road, it was nice. It was a very pleasant ride. It was nice up in there. I liked it.
Yeah, I think, is it I-70 that runs through there?
No, it's I-90.
Yeah, 90. 70's in Kansas. Yeah, 90 runs through Minnesota and Wisconsin, South Dakota.
90 goes through the southern part of South Dakota.
Yeah.
29 goes north and south through South Dakota up to like Fargo and Grand Forks.
Yeah, and 29 goes south all the way down to
Yeah, it goes way down. Yeah.
Mississippi, I think.
Yeah. And then there's in North Dakota, it's Interstate 94.
Yeah.
So it's basically the same. It's just copied. Both states are essentially the same.
Yeah.
Right? You got one that goes east and west, and you got one that, well, I think it stops at Grand Forks, but I'm not sure about that.
Yeah.
It's 29. Yeah, it's 29. Right.
Yep. Yeah. 29 goes right past Omaha.
Oh, yeah.
On the Iowa side.
Yeah, I've been there. Yeah.
And there's a drag strip down there I want to go to called I-29 Dragway. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you check out 1320 video, they have a lot of stuff like their ice cream cruises at I-29 Dragway.
Oh, okay.
And 3 or 4 years ago, they got a lot of rain and the Missouri flooded, the Missouri River. And it just like flooded the entire track. There was like 4 feet of water there.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine that. And 80 goes through Nebraska.
Yeah, 80 goes right through and then curves down into Colorado.
Yep.
Where Rhino's at.
So you have, what, is it 76, 80, and 70 all come together? I think it's 76. There's an interstate that goes somewhere.
In Colorado?
Oh, gosh. Now I got to know, man. Now I got to. Oh, my brain is dead this morning. Hold on. Map. Yeah, there's a 76 that's in Colorado. But where the hell? Well, hold on a second here. Yeah. Okay. 76. Okay. It goes from Denver up to the Nebraska border. Then it turns into 80.
Yeah.
So 76 is like an offshoot of 80. Goes down to Denver. And then there's 70 and 25. And then there's some outer, maybe not. Yeah, 270. So yeah, around Denver, there's the friggin' toll road, which is basically I think it's called 270, but yeah, Colorado East 270, or is it 470? Might be 470, but whatever, doesn't matter. Yeah. Let's see here.
Yeah, there's my
Let's see here. Oops, where are we at? Oh, there we go.
I haven't driven that car since 1987.
Wow.
It's weighing heavily on me.
You need to go out and take it for a spin.
I need to get, now I need to completely tear it apart and redo it again because it had to sit outside from my divorce.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, so now it has issues again, so I got to fix all that. But I got a welder.
Well, I mean, the Cougar is just a Mustang, just a Mercury version.
Yeah,
right?
it's a longer Mustang with a little bit different bodywork.
Yep.
So
not nearly as popular as a Mustang, but they're fine cars.
I think they're cooler than Mustangs because they're different.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, you see a lot of Mustangs, but you don't see a lot of Cougars, really.
Yeah, this one. This is how the Cougar was for 20 years.
Jeez.
I put it in the shed in '86. And I could still drive it a little bit in '87. I started the paint job in '86 and I finished it in 2007.
Jeez. And you haven't driven it since.
Yeah.
Snakey says, never owned a muscle car, but I have huge respect. Yeah. It was a fun time.
This is how it looked when we pulled it out of my dad's shed in '06 after sitting for 20 years while I was gone in the military and working on other stuff in other parts of the state.
All covered with mouse shit and whatever the hell else was in the bar. Yeah.
Well, just a lot of dirt.
Dust, yeah.
So, but I took it down to, I took the suspension off and everything. I didn't do a rotisserie on it yet because I didn't have it built. So I'm just going to take it off, take everything out of it, blow it completely apart, flip it up, sandblast the underside, fix whatever rust is under there. I fixed most of it already.
Mm-hmm.
Rebuild the suspension, put it all back together, and then I'll get it running. So, but that's one of those that you want to do it a certain way. So, and I got to get the piece of shit Mustang that I can't get rid of out of my shop.
Get that out of your place so you can make room for this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I want to do this one. I want to do just this one. I don't want to have like a whole bunch of other stuff going on.
Right.
So I'll probably be dead before I get it done. But this is when I first painted it. And that's what it looked like back in '86 when I bought the 72 goat.
Yeah, it's a nice looking car. I like that the color
Yeah.
scheme. Yeah, it's good.
That's what it looked like when I drove it to high school, and the vinyl top made the roof into Swiss cheese. That was a lot of fun fixing.
You were a chick, or it was a chick magnet for you? Probably.
Not really.
Really?
I got my first Hummer in it, but the girls just weren't digging on that. Now the 72 goat, I got all kinds of tail in that thing.
Oh, you man whore you. Oh
yeah,
my God.
Yeah, I got lots of tail in the 72, but nothing really in the 67. Of course, my dad also drove it. He got a job in town, right? So he decided, I'm just going to take Thumpr's Cougar and just drive into town in that. So I got a worn out car.
Thanks, Dad.
You know? Yeah, because I bought it when I was 13 with my money that I earned. I made $2,500 selling sweet corn, and Dad took $2,000 of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's like, well, we need this for the family. So that's why I'm not big on socialism, because I basically lived it.
Yeah.
You know, so Dad not only like took all the rest of the money, he then drove my car into work, and he cost me a few dates because, you know, I'd go to school and he would take off for the car, and then he'd come back like, you know, 9-10 p.m. whenever he felt like it.
Sure.
And I'm like, you know, I had somewhere to be. Why don't you take your own damn truck? Can I take your truck on my date? He's like, no. And I'm like, well, then leave me my car. It's my car. I paid for it. I keep it running. I've fixed everything on it, you know, and I'm still fixing. So the front end was completely worn out. You'd hit a bump and it would just like oscillate. It was just terrifying to drive.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So I only drove it for like 3 months. So my first car, I didn't hardly even get to drive. My dad drove the wheels off the thing.
That son of a gun, him.
Yep. But he left me a really cool CUDA. So
that's true. The CUDA is very, very nice.
Yeah, the CUDA's pretty. But it was California car, so not a lot of rust, just a lot of dents.
Yeah.
And I dollied it out pretty good, but I wanted to get it nice and straight. So it's got a little bit, nothing's more than a 1/16 of an inch thick.
Just to kind of smooth it out a little bit.
Yeah. So, and I filled in all the holes where the vinyl top was and everything. And my brother, he put a bunch of creases in it. And just, he would take it and go run it into things.
Great.
Yeah. He's wrecked every vehicle he's ever driven. This was a dent that was there when I bought the thing. This is a 70s or 80s repair.
Okay.
And they just drilled a bunch of holes and kind of pulled it out a little bit and then mudded it. There was 2 inches of mud, of Bondo, just caked on the fender. So I had to rebuild all that. It was fun. And I made a piece of, took another piece of metal and welded it in there.
Yeah.
And now it's rusting out, so I got to redo it all.
Well, at least you remember how you did it the first time, right?
Well, I am way better at body work than I was when I did my Cougar.
Well, sure.
You know,
you were just a kid. Yeah.
I've done 7. No, I was, you know, in my 30s.
Oh, okay.
This is only 2006, 2007. I think I painted it in 2008.
I see.
But, you know, it sat for 20 years.
Yeah.
So I just said, well, I'm going to learn how to do body work. And I started on the Mustang. And then my dad says, well, you got to get this Cougar out of my shop. So I'm like, okay. So he dragged it up there, and then I can't have it sitting outside without paint on it. And I only had so much room in the shop where I lived with my ex-wife. So I was like, all right, I'll do the Cougar. So I pushed the Mustang off to the side and did the Cougar and got it in paint. And then the 65 Goat kind of came up. There was a whole big thing about that. But that's the way it looked when I first painted it and got most of it put back together.
Nice. Don't have an engine in there in that picture because it looks like it's riding high in the front. Yeah.
Well, the Mustangs and the Cougars, the suspension kind of when you rebuild it, it'll like sit way up until it, you know, settles down.
Kind of, you have to break it in, I suppose.
Yeah. The springs are really kind of stiff. Even though I used the same springs and everything else, it just wanted to sit high.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's back to where it's like almost normal.
Okay.
It's been another 20 years.
Just another 20 years. Yeah.
Yeah, almost another 20. So now it's been 40 years I've owned it. And I don't want to go 40 years without driving it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Poor thing is missing you, man. It's missing you.
Yeah. And I would like to take it back to Nebraska for my 40-year high school reunion and be like, I still have my car.
That would be freaking cool.
And it's cool.
Well, you have a little bit of time, right?
Yeah.
Just a little.
Yeah. Because I got, another 4 or 5 years? So
yeah.
I plan to get on it like next year.
Yeah.
Maybe this year. Depends on how things go.
I mean, look, I like the color. The color looks good.
Well, it's a GM flame red.
Yeah.
The pearl blue that's on the GTO, that's a Ford color. It's
no kidding.
It's basically a 2012 F-150. Well, it's just Ford color. You could get it called flame blue. And they also have the same pearl style red. So I think that's what I'm going to put on the Cougar. It'll actually be a real Ford color, and it'll be pearl red.
Awesome. Yeah. Looks nice.
So
looks
that'll be a lot of fun. And one of my Clevelands. The only non-Pontiac engines I really like.
Sweet.
Yeah. My paint job was terrible. It looks really good there, but it was terrible. Oh, my God. I had so much orange peel, and I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to do the base clear and everything. Now I do. I'm pretty good at it. So,
yeah. Well, you've had a little more practice.
yeah. I've painted a few more cars.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just from here, it looks good. So.
Well, yeah, it looks fine there, but it's not.
But you're nitpicking.
I take really good pictures.
Yeah. You get up close, and it's like, oh God, I know. You're your own worst critic on that.
See, and here's the gold GTO. It's yellow back then. I painted yellow because I just rattle canned it when I bought it, and all the other colors would flake off, and the yellow held up the best. So I just painted it all yellow and left it until I could paint it halfway decent.
Sure.
And I put a single stage with a hardener on it, and that's held up pretty well. That's been 13 years, and it's still shiny.
Nice.
So, and I'm going to take the 60 or the 70 and put it in the shop maybe this fall. If I can get the Cutlass and the Mustang out of there, I'll put the Cougar and the Goat in there and do both of them. Because the Goat, that's pretty easy, really. I can just take it, clean it all up, sandblast it, do some body work. There's a couple of holes in the floor, all new wiring harness. And I got all the parts. I can just throw it back together. Only thing I need to do is buy a hood. And I got everything else to do it. So.
Cool.
That would be a pretty quick one. Might take me like 4 or 5 months.
Now, is that the original wheels on the yellow one, or is that?
No.
Yeah.
Those are just some cheap wheels that I picked up so I could put tires under it and drive it around.
Right.
I bought those when I got stationed in Charleston when I went back in the military in 2000. So I drove the Goat down there. Drove it from Nebraska to South Carolina in February.
Wow. Yeah, cool.
It's tons of fun.
All right. It's 11:10. I think I'm going to wrap it up. What do you think?
All right.
It was fun, man. We did car talk. It was fun.
Yeah.
We'll have to do it again.
Guys want to talk about like other stuff later? We can always talk about stuff.
Oh, you mean later on today?
Well, wherever, whenever, because I can go through pictures and show you slideshows and talk about stuff all day with my stuff. But if you want to talk about things that,
Yeah, well, we might fire up something later. Depends. I got to make something to eat for one thing.
Yeah, I got to do some food too.
Yeah.
I'm running out of coffee.
I'll shoot you a link if I do something later, or just look for me.
Good.
All right, sir. Have a good one.
All right.
See you later.